Well, we better get started. The whole host of shit came out like 2 hours ago.
Wait,
Apparently,
what?
Wowhead,
What came out?
All I saw was anyway.
You know what I wish they would do?
Stop.
3, 2, 1.
Start.
I
Oh,
wish.
it's recording.
I wish they would have just made it so you could have tier from the goddamn very beginning.
All right, and with that, welcome back to another episode of Server
Because
Restart.
goddamn it, I'm sick of not getting tier in my goddamn vault.
It's
and doing
a weekly
bazillion
World of
things
Warcraft podcast
every
hosted
week.
by
Tears
three
from
opinionated players who like to share their thoughts and opinions about the current state of the game. My name is Jim. I am joined by, obviously, Kristen. And Brian.
Hi.
And so, yeah, what do you really think?
I mean, I think it's bullshit that they made you wait an entire goddamn month to get tier.
You know, it's more like 2 months almost.
I think it's bullshit that they made you wait that long to get tier. If you're one of the, for one thing, if you're one of the people pushing high-end content, you probably don't need tier because you're good. But if you're one of the people who's not good and you need tier to prop you up, why would you not put it out there?
To be fair, I haven't rated normal at all, and I've gotten 3 pieces of tier gear.
Yeah, that's great.
I got 3 too.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You know how many pieces I have?
I
have 1 piece. I have 1 piece that I got from LFR. And then that raid night, I got the same piece.
So technically, you got 2 pieces.
Really?
Yes.
That sucks.
Yes. So
that feels bad.
Yeah, and I do Mythic Pluses every week. I do raid. I do LFR
as a consolation prize.
It's effing. They should have just opened the stupid catalyst thing, whatever, at the beginning. Boom.
At least 2 weeks in.
At least 2 weeks in.
They shouldn't have waited as long.
They waited way too long, and it feels bad. It feels bad when your class is dependent on that. Okay, so Boomkin is... Keep going. The class feels better with 4-piece. Not that I would know, because I don't have it.
But that's a class problem.
That is a class.
Right?
Absolutely. 100% agree.
And that sucks.
And it sucks. Yes. I wouldn't know how the rest of one is because, like I said, I haven't gotten it. So, I think it's supposed to be good. It sounds like it's a good thing, but, I'll never see it.
So just a quick addendum. Everybody ignores the buzzing white background noise that I forgot to turn the fan off. Anyway, yeah, no, they should have put in a better... I get the bad
luck. Should have done a better job.
Since I asked the last time we podcast, like not last week maybe, but the week before, I don't remember. I think I asked you guys about it because I thought the inspiration thing was maybe it, but then that didn't really make sense.
Nope, that's for crafting. We are getting more. There's a 4th one this week.
No, we're not progressively getting more. Sorry. Like it's not getting quicker that it's dropping. That's what the catalyst would be, right?
Inspiration at some point it is going to be it's going to get unlocked and not gated anymore at some point. When that is, I don't know.
Well, that's true. That's another thing that's going to piss her off.
Yep.
Because it takes a week for the first time.
I think you get 2 the first 2 weeks.
1, I thought the first.
1 the first week, 1 the second week. Then it was every other week. Up to the 4th one, which is this week, I believe. Because I got 2, I used 2, and I got 2 this, so I have 2 now because of this week.
Okay.
So, but I think at some point that's going to be unlocked. You'll still have to do like some quests or whatever to get one to earn the item to turn into the inspiration. So it's not going to be like you just go talk to them and they just hand it to you. And I don't know if it's going to be one per week or if it's going to be multiple per week.
Oh, is this the culmination of the tier quest line then? Is that what this is?
I don't think this has anything to do with the tier stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, keeper tier.
Tier,
Keeper
TYR.
gems, yeah.
I'm thinking tier gear, you know, which is...
I cheated and looked at a screenshot of it on
How
my head.
dare you? But I don't think it is.
But anyway.
Because that's a different thing. Which, spoiler for all those who haven't, you know, been doing that. You know, it's like you basically rebuild, playing the game, but doing that. I mean, not everybody came in at the start and has been doing everything to progress to get that scale, to start that line where you basically just build an empty tier.
Yeah, if you haven't made it there by now, then whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, sorry, sucks to be you, but...
Oh my God. You guys are terrible.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm saying that as somebody...
At least we have tier set bonuses.
Oh my God. Do you really...
I don't know which tier he's talking about anymore.
I'm just going to cry in a corner with my non-tier.
No.
Yeah.
Tears of joy.
Tears of pain.
It's like
and
I only
suffering.
have one piece on my shaman, and I've been doing the LFR, and I'm playing Resto, and I went and did it earlier, and I hate
LFR?
the first wing of LFR. The second fight, the first fight's even bad because nobody knows where the hell to put their lava pools, and then they give you like 2 inches to like kill the ad that circles in, you know, kind of like at the end of Shadow Moon Bear, there's the wall and you have to kill the ones who can get out. They never leave room for that. And then you get to the council fight, and then nobody understands that when the market...
Okay, hold on. Did you even do the second LFR?
Did you even do
the second wing? I've done it.
Yeah.
Several times.
Oh my God.
I like those fights.
I think it's fantastic. The spider fight's amazing. I love it. But the amount of people getting tugged off in the middle nonstop.
Hey, let's keep it PG, all right?
Yanked really hard.
No,
Even better.
I know. I like that fight. I like that especially because as a DK, I can just death advance and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's a lot of, but as a shaman, I can't. So, but
I mean, I just placed myself around the ice and it's fine.
Or the webs.
Oh, I just go over the ice and it slows you too. Like it pulls you, but you're not pulled fast.
It's probably worse for melee. So like, I know a few times my heroic leap was off of cooldown and I had to get strategic about the line of sight to the boss.
Strategery.
So I didn't get yoinked off completely.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I stand behind the ice and it pulls me, but it...
Oh, you mean the pillars?
No, but I do try to line of sight. I do try to put myself...
Okay.
I went kind of halfway up one of
the
the pillars, but then when it puts ice in the ground, I stand in that.
Is it web?
There's webs and
there's something
ice.
on the ground that you gotta go around, yeah.
Yeah, there's both. I don't know.
Sure, I know there's webs and there's ice, but I've just been standing in the ice.
I don't know if that slows you.
Or past the ice, and it might not slow me, but
you're supposed to be on the outside.
But I must be far enough back that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's so funny though, because the first thing I thought of when that boss started going is like the old people chair to get upstairs.
Oh yeah, it is pretty slow. It's like the chair on the
Yeah.
But no, the council boss on LFR is just absolute insanity. I did it.
It is bad.
It's
bad nonstop.
I did that wing on my deathnet this morning before work, and I just stood outside of the pack of people that were all on the boss, and just hardly did any damage because I'm not going in there and getting infected with that mark. I'm like, that's stupid.
The best way to run that on LFR is to die early.
Yeah, you're probably
and then
right.
You can go walk away for like 5 minutes and come back.
You can either do it again or move on to the next one.
And then roll need on everything because people are assholes.
Because people are assholes, yes.
Yeah, there's really nothing I can get in there. It's just
Yeah, must be nice.
Well,
there's tier.
Not on the first wing. I already have the
There's
piece
tier
from
in
the first wing.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah, I mean, LFR is a completely different animal. Honestly, based on the difficulty, the fact that you're playing from the pool of everybody, I think the gear should be higher rewards than probably normal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they still do the bonus. Oh, what is it? There's some harder loot to get that is slightly higher.
Yeah, certain bosses do have very rare drops that are higher levels, and then other bosses have an increased item level.
That's different than before, where those extra level or the higher item levels were at the end bosses, right? Like so.
Yeah, it was the end bosses just were whatever. They made those higher and put intermediary bosses between them, but they also added on certain bosses special unique items that have even lower chance to drop that are better. So, it's interesting. I think they're making some changes to the loot system in 10.05, which is coming out January 24th, which they announced. So the next patch 10.0.5 is coming out. That's when the trading post stuff is coming out, where you can do activities to earn the currency to buy mounts or appearances and stuff like that. That's when the white and gray items come out for transmog. And there's a few other things. There's some class changes and stuff that are coming out, but I haven't really paid much attention to that. That's the week that the Inspiration Catalyst is coming out, which will allow you to make the tier gear or convert to tier gear. That is, I think, you can do that, and then the charges are account bound. You can have so many charges on your account, and any character on your account can use them.
I will say I'm pretty well stacked for gear as far as what,
the second they flip the switch, you just go boink, and you just got
one.
But you'll have your two piece, and you'll have a probably a higher piece, because we've gotten some higher pieces from doing the Mythic Plus stuff. So you're pretty set on that, which is good. I mean, it's like
we really need to do more Mythic Pluses.
Sure, that's not.
Well, what is normal? What is normal vault drop?
389 to 395 or 398, I think.
That's crazy, because I
think it's 389, 395, 398 is the max as far as the end bosses.
Oh, normal vault. Sorry,
yes.
Never mind.
Not the Great Vault.
Vault, yeah, gotcha.
But I mean, we've already got pieces that either from doing
that are like 400
dungeons, that are 400 and something. So I mean, there's
isn't once you get up to 10s, you're already at raid level and higher, aren't you?
Yeah, close. If not, I don't remember what the drop is. I think an 11 is like a 402. So
that's crazy.
Or maybe
but that's like a 40-minute dungeon, if not longer. Well,
I think the max timer
is
boss. Well, yes.
Oh my god, that tree boss.
Which we haven't done since they've nerfed it, so we don't know if it's still
nerf it again.
I have a 12 academy that we can go to.
No, we need to do it again. It's not a never again. It's a
we need to.
We probably need to go find a lower key just to test it out and see how it is and whatnot. But yeah, it's
terrible.
It's hard. It just feels like participation with people is kind of just it was ramped up real high, and then the holidays are over and it kind of petered off a little bit, and then now it's even down more. It used to be.
Is it really?
I used to log in and there'd be 3 or 4 people on it, at least in our guild, and now there's nobody on half the time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Until later, and it's just
sure, because people are working.
But I mean, if they're not doing
dailies
end game content or coming on to do stuff or whatever, then they're just not around. They're playing other games or doing stuff. I mean,
I'm definitely guilty of that, but mine's oh my god, I'd love to be able to get on and run through dungeons without being bothered, but I can't. Oh,
yeah,
I want it so bad.
I've been playing Final Fantasy again, so
really,
yeah.
Just the last couple of days.
This is the last couple of days because a new patch came out and new stuff. So, but it's
definitely not the lack
stress.
of. Oh, I bet.
It's less stress. They don't have Mythic Plus dungeons in Final Fantasy. So it's, and they don't have the talent system. Like you just get your talents and, they rework some classes sometimes, but not all the time, so.
Yeah, it's a different feeling. It's a grindy game, but it doesn't have the focus on doing end game content like WoW does. And
well, it does.
It does, but not in the same manner. Like your sole focus isn't either pushing high end dungeons or doing the raids or PvPing. It's like those are things that you can do at the end, but there's also all kinds of other things you can do. It's not you're not limited to just those 3 arenas or avenues.
There's all kinds of stuff to do. There's crafting, there's gathering, there's all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
speaking of crafting, apparently they are on the PTR. Apparently there's going to be a cap on the number of public work orders you can do.
Really? Do they feel the need to cap it?
Well, it's currently set. It's
already capped.
It's currently capped at 20. They're reducing it down to 4.
I mean, are people just?
Well, I think what that is to do is to allow other people opportunity to get a public work order for the weekly quest.
That's what I'm saying. Were they having?
They claim it's clearing too quickly.
It
and
absolutely
there's not an opportunity for people to actually see them.
It is because you either got people that are just doing it. I don't know if they're trying to do it to make money or to level up or whatnot, but there's a lot more people doing the orders than there are people putting them in. So they go up there and they're gone.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like
well, I mean that's the reason we don't see them is what they're saying. Right. So
yeah, which they've acknowledged.
But the thing is though, and it's funny because they said the same exact thing I said last week. Like it's
right?
Did they say it?
They said
somebody else, but. It's something about like it's a for the future thing. It's not for a patch thing, a feature thing for the expansion or whatever the case is. It's revamping it for the future, so we'll tweak it, in small iterations rather than drastic iterations to see how it can play out. But I think that still just relying on it's still tied to professions which are unfortunately still only useful until you do a little bit of content and then it's not anymore, right?
Well, they were
until they open it up to the rest of the game itself.
They were, but then they keep nerfing the stuff that they're good for, right? So they like the embellishments are like a huge thing, right? So I know they're planning on nerfing the chilled clarity potion again, or not again. They were going to nerf it, reverted the nerf, but really they didn't revert it. They've only pushed it back a little bit. So they're going to end up, it's going to be nerfed anyway, right? And I do kind of understand, but I feel bad for the people who crafted embellishments around it, because I guess there's a lot of embellishments that will make it so, like, you can do the alchemist trinket, which will allow you to use potions more, right? So if you're a druid and you use that chilled clarity pot, it's a free innervate, and you can just spam rejuves on people, and you're not taking any mana from it, right? It's basically a free innervate, because what the potion does is it gives you that free mana, like spells cost no mana, but the cast takes 40% longer. So that sucks for people who actually have casts.
But if it's an
instant cast, and apparently, so Blizzard said that it it was supposed to be applying to the global cooldown, but it was not. And so I think that's what they're going to do is they're going to make it apply to the global cooldown. So then it will it'll make the cooldown a little bit longer. Yeah. Make up for it.
Therein lies the actual issue still to the same system though, right?
Sure.
They made a system for
and then they nerf it.
That has crafting that along the lines of something like Final Fantasy, and it's not.
Yep.
Even though I like it and I want to love it to death.
Yeah.
It's just not that. So until they actually drastically make a change, and I still think that adding some generic AI, I say AI, it's not that smart. You know what I mean? But some default work orders that people can fulfill from fake characters, right? Or whatever the case is. It's just going to be one of those things that you wish it would work and it's not going to.
It should be like it should be like the quest that you get at the beginning of the week to make some hammers or some shovels for the blacksmithing trainer, and that should be done through that and count towards that.
I mean, it really shouldn't though. That's the thing, is it shouldn't. The system is it could be a good system, but you can't rely on its usefulness to come from a systematic issue that has not been addressed yet. You cannot expect a game that old with people doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over to actually change how they operate in a game and then set that on top of it as well. Yes, the rewards from it, they should do something a little bit different and then try to incentivize it differently, because it is tied to a very core concept, which is the knowledge points, right? Mm-hmm. And so, we already talked about that being cocaine. So why would you gate that so hard? People need.
Okay, we talked about that, and we talked about how you only get 6 of those 1 items. But there are other items that you can get that do have a low drop rate. So there are still things that could show up, but I didn't see one. After we talked about that week, and
it's funny because I got 2. I think I got 2 the other day when I was playing.
The charged elemental stones or whatever. I didn't get any.
I was like, oh really? And I don't think I had gotten my purple yet from mining. Or this was for blacksmithing, obviously. I think it was. Shit, I don't even know.
No, blacksmithing ones.
It's the gob. Oh no, that is the. That's the blacksmithing one. So that's not mining.
Well, there's supposed to be things that you get from elemental nodes or something like that that has a chance to drop, a low chance to drop to give you knowledge. But I'm not seeing them. But I'll dig up stuff for treasures or kill mobs and get stuff off of mobs for blacksmithing.
Right.
But
that's the thing though, is one, don't gate the little bit of cocaine behind that system. It's a really good idea, and it's not it's a complete failure yet. But it's going to be if you continue to put it as a bridge to serving the needs of a system that is just not there yet, right? And so you're just not going to see, I don't know. I could bitch about it all day, but it's only because I love it. I think
and you want it
fun.
to be good.
I think a lot actually, because it brings a whole, it brings a huge change to a persistent feature in the game, right? That we've been complaining about forever. That it needs, right? More of the if you slice WoW into pies, you're gonna get basically one slice of combat, and that's it. And it's deviated more and more over the years. So
like a septum.
I mean, my deviated septum. Fuck my life. No lies there. I can't breathe on my right side of my nose. Fucking hell. Jeez. But point being, they are opening it up, and I think there's enough proof in the expansion so far that those type of features are the things that people really fucking want. In addition to what's already out there, right? If you ask me, I look at the raid and the dungeons, and even by the feeling of their existence and even the storylines. Like, that raid is not a super duper focal point, which feels fantastic, right? Even though, I mean, it could be considered like in game in terms of gear level, but the reality is, like, it's not, and that's great, right?
Well, you have other options for gearing, but as far as like the story is concerned, it's definitely a
it's not the end. Yeah, it's not the last telling bit of what's out there right now, though.
All right, because
that's a great thing.
They added all like these little story things with all the different renowned things. You know, you get story stuff there and all this stuff. It's not the only bit of story. It's not like Castle Nathria happened and then it just stops. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it is the main thing, right? Because right now,
it's a big thing. It's a big thing that we've complained about too. putting bulk of lore into the raids. Yeah. But I think a lot of it, like, if you take a step back and take a look at everything that's going on right now and how it's progressing, the point at which Razageth dies, and you align that to, say, your renown levels, I mean, it's not at the end by any means in terms of what you're experiencing in the story and stuff like that. So that's a really good thing. And with that comes the extra persistent features of the game and shit like the crafting, what is it called again? Fuck.
The orders?
Work order system, yeah. Shit like that was put there to buff up those things. And so it's definitely a good thing, but they gotta lock that shit down. I mean, not lock it down literally, but like
the thing is,
own
right,
it better.
Is right now you can craft level like 389 gear, right? And that's, you know, that's based without any additional stuff. There's items that you can get to recraft the gear to make it higher. I think you can go up to like 415 on some of these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how high do you fucking want to get? Good God, man.
But you're saying that it feels like you get to a point in the crafting gear or the crafting stuff is irrelevant at that point.
They've kind of addressed that because, yeah, you can go, if you get the items, you can make the gear bigger so it doesn't lose its value at the beginning. Or like its value is only at the beginning. It's not. It doesn't lose its value. It continues. If you like that, like I've got one of those elemental lariats crafted, right? It's pretty good. I enjoy it. I just got the base one because we weren't doing anything really higher to get the items for the infusions and stuff. But then we started doing things higher because I think you just need 11s for higher to get infusions.
You start getting items that you can combine to make it even higher.
Yeah. And so then you can, do the infusions to make it a higher item level. And that's great because it gives you that sense of progression where you're like, oh, hey, I moved on and now I can craft this and now this will help me to get to the next level, so.
But again, a lot of that is gated at that point.
Yes, and it requires you
obviously by design. Like it's not like they're intentionally breaking the system to prevent anything or gate someone. It's gated by the gear progression itself. And so what I'm saying is like everything once you get to end game level, well then you start like getting super limited on what you're going to go out and make and what you're going to go out and want, right? And before you wind up going into like alt land, right? That's a different story, but the availability of work orders are always going to be limited by what the professions can do, before in game, right? Like not considering in game stuff.
Yeah, I get it. It's like the level of the gear I believe that you can craft is probably meant to fill in some gaps for a normal raid level gear set, like 389-ish, right? And yeah, if you're doing the end game content, you're going to fill that out. If you're fresh in and it's, this many weeks in and you're like been playing for a week or two, it's a nice way to get a quick gear upgrade so that you can go in and do some of that stuff, replace some of like your low 340 pieces. But then you start like, and if you're going to do keys, or I don't know if it drops on like heroic raids or something like that too, like those pieces, but
I don't know.
The items that you can use to make it higher, they give you a way to allow that gear to carry forward in such a manner that if you did get something crafted, it doesn't just get trashed the minute you're done with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there is going to be a way to put some more life into that piece. And so, and we've never had an expansion where when the raid's out at the max level of a profession that you could make as many pieces of gear, whether it be weapons or armor or trinkets or whatever, that were at an equivalent level of the normal raid.
That's definitely true, but that's kind of an unfair statement because they did everything. So it's not like, and they've never done that before, but they have had crafted gear, but it's always been like dropped recipes in the raid itself. So if you didn't raid, i.e. like
yes,
ICC, like
yes.
they had some of the best boots, right?
Yes, or Sunwell.
But you had to raid it, you know?
Yes.
And
right.
Those are just like completely gated off.
If you think about too in like BFA, it's like there was one piece of gear you could make as a blacksmith, like at the beginning, and then like Nashatar came out, and then you could get a recipe to make some legs that were pretty good, but you could potentially
it was it was a small stepping stone.
Yeah. You know, and it's like if you didn't get anything from the raid and all that stuff. But I mean, here we are at the beginning with gear that not only can you control the stats on, which is huge too, right? This isn't just, oh, you're going to get this piece of gear and it's going to have these stats on it. It may not be the best, you know what I mean? So like you don't have to necessarily weigh what your stats are. You know, it's like, well, it's like a 2 eye level upgrade. It's got a little bit more strength, but the stats are kind of wrong, so it doesn't really feel like an upgrade, whereas you can have a crafted thing that you've controlled. So there's a lot more flexibility. They took the legendary system from Shadowlands with the missives, and they put it into regular crafting to allow you to control the stats you get on it, and it basically replaces reforging. Because when you reforge, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to move these stats around and all that stuff, which I think that was even limited. I don't think it was you picked what stat to change.
It was very small.
It was you could do it, and it would just do it.
It was basically made for min-maxers at that point because it was a waste of time to really do it.
Right. So, but this is just like straight control, and I think that is a huge improvement to the system. And I think overall, the system's been greatly improved. You know, and
don't get me wrong. Again, I'm definitely not complaining about the work order system itself. I'm just complaining that if you're going to limit it to 4, you're not really addressing a long-term problem. You're still addressing a short-term problem, but you're trying to band-aid it for now. You know what I mean? And just so people have ways to do the quest that happens once a week.
I'm assuming that's why they're doing it. I don't know if that's something.
I'm going off my own assumptions here. I think I am assuming exactly that. Because why else? They can't go back and fix anything magically right now, right? And if they're trying to set a pattern for the future, where it means they're going to open more things to be able to be built through this system, like i.e. the entire fucking game, and then maybe that's how it evolves or something. I don't know. But as of right now, limiting those orders, because they're the ones keeping the statistics on the telemetry that's on the stuff that's flowing through that system, right? So obviously they're right. Like things are happening, they're just so damn quick that you can't notice it. Okay, that's fine. But I don't know. That's about all I got to say.
It is definitely a Band-Aid to fix this, and potentially, you know, this will at least allow some people to actually get to see and do some versus not, and make it so that it's easier to do the quest. And maybe this will incentivize people to put in more. I don't think it incentivize people to put orders in.
Well, you know what's funny? It's just crafting. imagine a system where imagine a system that pulls more from the auction house than anything, because like if you set up a system where like I need 500 Kazgarite ore at level 3 or tier 3 or whatever it is, right? And I put an order out there for that and somebody can fulfill it.
That's the other thing. You're right, because there's no gathering work orders. Why can't there be a work order for gatherers? Like say, hey, I want...
And make it a thing where like you don't have to accept it now, right? Give it a time limit or something so people don't have to wait forever, but then it turns into like player quests, right? I can accept an order and then I can go mindlessly mine for 3 hours because I enjoy that a lot. And I can make a buck off of it or whatever the case may be. Or I get skill up or I get knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, or I get extra bonuses, stuff like that. I don't know, something. It would incentivize the damn system somehow better.
Yeah, it would be interesting to add gatherers to that. I'm not sure if it makes the orders take less or be active for longer before you have to actually complete it. Because I think like with crafting orders, you get like 30 minutes to do it or something from the time you take it.
Oh, really? There's
Oh,
that's
because
nice.
otherwise you're just grabbing it and holding on to it. And like, let's say it's freaking Sunday and you're like, well, Tuesday's almost here. I'm just going to grab this order and hold on to it till Tuesday when I get the quest.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Sure, and you're potentially screwing somebody.
Yeah.
Because,
it's like, it's a pain. Yes. It's a dick move. But like with gatherers, I mean, I don't know if it makes sense to kind of like go out and gather and then come in and peddle your wares. I wonder if...
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like now you're competing with the auction house. In my opinion, I'd rather have this system than the auction house.
The only thing is that a lot of the gear is BOP, so that gear's not competing with the auction house, but some of the other stuff is. Like, you know what I mean? Like some of
this scenario, I'm saying this scenario competes with the auction house. So
yeah, I think it all competes with the auction house. Honestly, the auction house, you shouldn't be able to put crafted gear on. Period. Anything that you can craft shouldn't be on the auction house. It should be through this. And then, auction house should be for stuff that drops that's BOE.
I wanted to disagree with you at first, and then you made sense.
Well, if you think about it, if you funnel everything that somebody can make through a work order system, rather than have somebody just make a bunch of stuff and put it on the auction house. You know what I mean?
The only problem is there, one, that might actually solve some of this problem. Maybe. Getting more stuff out there so there's work orders. But the problem is like, if I just turned 70 and I know there's 4 pieces that someone can make for me that I can't make for myself, okay, now I got to go put in that order. Versus, most people probably have the 5 to 10K. They can go to the auction house and just buy those and go. And so, like,
it depends on the gear. Some of the gear, like
of course it is. What I'm saying is the ease of access. It's still going to beat that system. Well, and so, like, then what do you do? What do you do instead of put false, I don't know what you call it. Gate. I mean, you're gating it, right?
Well,
for the role play.
You need to relax the limitations on public orders so that you do not have to put forth 100% of the items.
Yeah.
I would say definitely certain items, yes. The metal, maybe not metal, but metal, METTLE, the artisan metal. Sparks, obviously, something like that. And maybe at a minimum 25% of the raw material. Maybe. Or not even none. Because, I mean, why should you have to
make
go...
it totally optional. Like, you shouldn't take a work order and do it if you're getting paid 5 gold and you have to use your mats. Like, just use your brain.
Right. Well, that's just it, right? If somebody's got to provide all the mats, why are they going to pay any amount?
Why are you? Yeah.
Why are they putting in 5,000 gold?
Quite honestly, the commission thing I think is BS. You know what I mean?
The commission thing should be in there for it should be a way to incentivize somebody to make something when you don't have everything. Hey,
Right.
I know this is going to take your supplies,
Right.
so I'm adding in some gold to cover that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I do that when I put in personal work orders for stuff like, the knowledge writs or whatever. I look at what either it's selling for or what the cost of the mats are, and I'll tack that on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, yes, you do not have to put in certain materials for guild and private orders, but that shit does cost money, and time is money, friend. It's just, the goblins got that part right.
I mean, it's true, especially in a game like this. It is not like it's heavy RPG, right? So as soon as you start adding arbitrary weighting systems, just to get the effect in place, like, it's going to piss people off. The majority, that is.
Yeah. I think that if you were to not require things on the public order, it would incentivize people to put more money in it, and then then you don't feel so bad about spending all your ore or your leather or whatever to make something for somebody.
No, you're absolutely right on that. Like, it sucks because it's tied to things that are like not built that way.
You're forcing people to go to the auction house to buy materials.
No, you are. Yeah.
Because I guarantee you 90% of the people that put in a public order aren't gathering the materials. Okay, maybe some of them are, but a majority of them are taking the shortcut route and buying it.
I gathered for like 3 hours the other day I just loved it. I had a blast. And then I spent $20,000 in the auction house still.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were to take off the materials from the auction house, the gathering materials for Dragonflight off the auction house, and put them into a gathering system where you are commissioning somebody to go out and gather the mats for you, and you can say, I want, this, and some people have a stockpile, right? I have thousands of rank 2 Severite ore. You know what I mean? It's like, so somebody could put an order that I could just dump stuff in there. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't necessarily think they should be timed. I think it should be just like the normal stuff. And if you've gathered the materials and you have it on stock, great, you sell it. But that's going to incentivize people to go out and actually spend more time gathering to get those and spec into the different knowledge trees. Focus on a specific knowledge tree for mining so that you can get higher level mats, and that's going to cost more. Or you can put in an order, or you can you advertise and say, hey, go put in an order for ore and I'll mine it for you, and it's like, it's this amount per ore, and if you want 50 ore, sure, I'll fill that order. I got it in stock, and if you don't have it in stock, well, maybe you need to spend more time mining or focus on something else. Maybe that's not the ore you fill, do it for fucking the elemental shit, the rousing and the awakened stuff, right? You could make and take it off the fucking auction house. Give people incentive to actually go out and do it and sell it. Through the work order. Commission somebody to go play the game. Then you start to get back into, this is a community. This is this is a living, breathing.
Well, not to
system.
mention that, like, the auction house updates last year, or whenever it was. Fuck, I don't even remember now.
A lot of stuff.
Sometimes
is not
but
realm
it's
specific
but
anymore.
it's all like, yeah, and well, not to mention that, like, everything is, it's cheap out, expensive last. Cheap first, expensive last. So it doesn't matter
all
what
undercutting stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, is like they changed it to be that way. So now automatically you're fighting in a game, because before maybe you got lucky and just where you landed on the search page, you might have sold your stuff, because somebody wasn't paying attention. That sounds terrible, but at the same time,
sure, that's how most people make their money, because people aren't paying attention.
Or they snipe
in this
it
case,
and all that stuff.
Now you have a limited amount of items that can go, and then they're all filled up by quantities, and then they're sold by the cheapest first, like automatically. You can't choose, or you can choose. Can you choose? I don't think you can choose.
You can sort. You can pick. Yes, you can. Maybe not for materials. Maybe you can.
Oh yeah, you can buy No, you can't.
I don't know. I don't buy stuff off the auction house that often.
Well, I'm not sorry. I just mean an open question. But in this
I
case,
know.
like, I think the simplification of it kind of ruined that aspect. And then so like now you have this nice aspect or this nice system, right? And it's, you know, kind of to what we're saying with competing with it, potentially.
I think reagents, like crafting reagents, you should put in a work order for a shopping order, you know, basically a fucking, you know, Uber Eats order for fucking ore or something like that. Or like, you know what I mean? Just something like that. Commission somebody to go out, or what the fuck is the shopping
or even
app?
Fishing. Fuck fishing, dude. Like, catch me 2,000 scale belly and I'll pay you 100 grand.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go spend half a day doing that.
But you do get a sweet otter mount for doing a lot of fishing, so
that's got a benefit in and of itself.
Yeah.
But
that was kind of cool.
But like you could have somebody who says, yeah, well, it's getting to be towards our raid cycle and we're short on stuff. Let me go to the order system. Let me put in a couple orders, you know, for mats for the feast and for the files and all that stuff. And, you know, we'll get some of that stuff. And, you know, the craft, like, you know, imagine like how many times there's certain items that you craft in all the professions that require things from other professions. Why do I have to go buy it off the auction house or switch to my alt to do it? Why can't I just put it in an order and says, hey, any enchanters out there, I need some of this dust. Can you, you know, spare, you know, I'll pay you this much per item, or I'll pay you, you know, 50 gold for a stack of 5 or something. You know what I mean? Just something like that. Let them make some money off of that rather than having to deal with the auction house, because now it's more of a player-driven economy that is not as controllable as the auction house, right? You can automate the auction house to an extent. You know, people have all these add-ons and stuff that they use to snipe and buy low and sell high kind of thing to corner the market on certain things, and stuff like that. And it's ridiculous. Whereas if you put in an order for something, it's first come, first serve kind of thing. And that could be something that, yes, you know, maybe that would definitely be something that you would want to maybe limit. But I would guarantee you'd probably have more work orders there than you do for crafting right now.
Yeah, I would think so.
You know, you could do it for cooking mats. You know, I need flanks. I need, you know, I mean, just all the gatherables, man. You could do that so easy. And it would just be like, you know, it's like, it's like you said, it is a public questing system. You're saying, I want this stuff, you know, it's like, and, you know, you can specify the rank that you want. It's like, I only want the highest rank, you know, and I'll pay top gold for that. You know what I mean? And it's just, it would be good, I think. And it would probably,
I think so too.
It would take a while to catch on, like all these new systems. It's like you said, you know, it's like they got all these new systems that they want to do. They want to breathe life in the game. They want to change it up a little bit. It's going to take some time for the player base to adjust to it, unfortunately.
Man, we are passionate about it. I'm pretty sure we talked about it 3 or 4 times since the expansion came out.
It's a big part.
Thing, yeah.
It had a lot of promise. It had a lot of promise, and like you said, it's a system that I think we can all get behind. It's just, it has some glaring flaws that unfortunately really hinder it. And it just sucks. You know, you hate to see it. You hate to see something that had so much promise just kind of fall flat, you know, kind of like sizzle out. You know, it's like you get the firework going and it just doesn't go off and give you that big explosion at the end. It just kind of goes, boop.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, you expected a whiz bang and you just got a whiz. So,
Oh my.
I don't have to whiz. I'm all right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. What else?
So what happened? You said stuff happened.
Well, that's part of the stuff coming out with the new patch. It's all stuff for the 10.05 stuff that came out, right? Like on the PTR,
Yeah. No, I mean, it was just a bunch of little updates like that.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's like some class build changes that are coming out. I didn't look at it. You know, there's some NVIDIA changes, and give crap, I don't use NVIDIA. Like I said, the public work order stuff. They're changing the group loot stuff.
Wait, why?
It is to fix a situation where players could win need roll on duplicate items.
Oh!
In a single roll.
Like that time I won tier.
It's
both tier pieces.
It probably is because it's not the actual item.
Yeah.
It's the token.
Yeah.
So again,
I admit that happened to me. I
happened to
hadn't
me.
played in quite a few days, and I had forgot that I got a tier token, tier pants from the Mythic Plus drop in the vault. So they're like mythicified. And I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. But they're like $3.98 or something. They're
high.
fucking high. They're really high.
That's high.
And so I forgot that I had those. And the tier token dropped
For pants?
for legs.
Oh no. And you rolled neat on it?
And you
I
won?
rolled neat on it and I won it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. Wait, was it for legs? Are they sorted by legs and all that stuff?
Yes. The tokens are for different
Okay,
slots.
they are. Yep. Yeah, so I won it and I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I'd already hit it because I went to go swap them out because I'm like, oh, sweet. I know I had the gloves. I remember that because I got it from LFR the first time I ran it. And I'm like, oh, sweet, I got it. And I'm like, oh.
Well, if you do
Shit.
if you do /loot, it'll pull up the loot window and show you the rolls for all the pieces. You could have found the next highest person and given it to them if you thought about
Even
it.
after you accepted the
Yeah.
token?
Yeah.
Oh, did you use the token?
I used the token before I realized that
Oh,
I had
no,
already,
then you
already
could've.
had the
That's when you
pans.
do
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like leave instance group and
Yeah.
you just run
I did.
and
I
hide your,
felt
hide your shame.
Yeah.
That's but that's the problem, right? It's like because
no, it was stupid because I'm like, why did it even let me roll if I already had better ones anyways?
I do like, and I don't know if you've seen this on the rolls, if it's an item that's an upgrade for you, there's a little fly out window on the piece that tells you that it's an upgrade for you. I don't know if that's an add-on that I'm
might
using.
Be an add-on you're using.
It feels like it's baked in because I don't know any add-ons that do that.
I don't recall, but it's been a bit.
I mean, maybe it is, but it was, which I think is interesting because, like, I definitely don't roll on anything, whatever, that I don't need. You know, if it's something I can need on, but it's lower, I just grade on it because I'm like, I'm not going to roll need on it just to get it for whatever.
Well, and that was the problem was...
people don't give a shit.
For our raid, when I had 2 druid tier pieces dropped, and so I just hit need on both because I wasn't anticipating winning either one because I have terrible luck. And so won.
That's definitely a whole nother perspective because like in your case, you did twice the chances. Why wouldn't you do that?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right? So I rolled on them and then I must have won them both, but I wasn't paying attention because I very rarely do I pay attention to loot in the raid. So I was kind of looking at, I think I was trying to clear out my bags because I didn't have any bag space.
Go figure.
And somebody whispered me.
Does.
Somebody whispered me, he's like, hey, do you want that second? Are you going to use, can we roll on that second one? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, oh, did I win it? And I looked and I'm like, oh shit, I won this. I'm like, yeah, sure.
You roll. The second one you got there?
Yeah. What are you going to do with that one? And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I legitimately didn't even know that I had won it, So I was like,
They're also going to do some more updates to the loot distribution. They're going to fix an issue where in some rare cases, they say players would get less loot than they should have on certain raid sizes. So I guess there was an amount of loot dropping that was not equivalent to the size of the raid. Maybe there should have been an extra piece on the table.
Oh,
kind of thing.
shocker.
You're going to fix an issue where players could unconditionally roll need on set tokens. The system will now check if the player owns the token or the set piece itself at equal or greater value. So now, if you had vault pants that were higher and that that token came up for legs, you would not be able to roll greed on it or need on it, which is good.
That's fine.
That's good. That prevents people
if they're the same item. Yes.
It's the token or the set piece, right?
Yeah.
So if you have the set piece,
yeah,
or the token,
yeah.
So if you have the token in your bag and you never used it, or if you have the set piece and it's higher, you cannot roll need on it.
Yeah,
that's a good
fine.
that's a good protection in there to keep people from just rolling need on. If they see the dice lit up, then just clicking on it,
Yeah.
They can no longer roll need on any profession recipe that they've already learned. Because I guarantee you people
are rolling on it and then sell. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Oh, are they BOE?
Yes, because you can buy them off the what the fuck. There's a couple of recipes from the raid that just go for stupid fucking high.
Yeah.
Because
really?
I guarantee you what's happening is people are rolling need on it, already have it, and are selling it, and they're assholes.
Oh, the adventure guide doesn't show recipes?
It does not. But
that's dumb.
Yeah, you have to look on the recipe list, and it just tells you it comes from the vault. Now you might have to take off if you're in the recipe guide or the adventure guide. Maybe if you clear the class specification at the top, so that it's like because usually it's your loot spec, or I set mine to usually all DKs.
Mine says all, and it's not. It doesn't show anything.
Yeah. So let's see. And then players can no longer unconditionally roll need on one-handed weapons or two-handed for warrior and fury loot spec. So that means that.
Good.
Well, it just.
Although if I hadn't won that two-hander the first time I ran the LFR, I wouldn't have switched to fury.
Well,
I'm sorry, two-handed fury, and actually I'm enjoying it.
So you can't change your loot spec and get it. Sorry, what was that?
Oh shit! I didn't.
No,
think
it
about
says
that.
you can no longer unconditionally. So it says for the last one, the system will now thoroughly identify if you can dual wield the weapon in question based on your loot spec. If you can, and you already have two versions of at least as powerful as the item being rolled for, you can't need on them. So you cannot roll need on an item if you're dual wielding two-handers and the item that drops is lower than your ones, you cannot need on it. So you cannot need on an item that is not an upgrade. Is essentially what it's saying.
I think it's something else.
Okay.
Which I think is fine. That allows people to get upgrades.
That's fine, but it's also crappy because think about if you get something that has better stats for you, and now you can't roll on it.
Well,
because it's not considered not an upgrade.
If you are,
and that kind of sucks.
Oh, does that count for normal too?
Yeah, I would assume that
just LFR.
I would assume that it's all raids.
So you can still trade potentially, like if you could work that out.
Yeah, you could do that.
It's like if it's a slight downgrade item level but better stats, is it as big an upgrade for you doing that, or is it a bigger upgrade for you doing that as it is to the person that actually needs the bigger item level? You know what I mean? It's like,
sure.
It's not just, okay, are you min-maxing your stats versus somebody that's, got like a lower item kind of thing. So, I mean, but that's good that stuff's coming out. And that's coming out in a couple weeks, 12 days. So.
Of Christmas?
No. What the hell are you? You're not allowed to drink when we record. You say silly stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
You can just cut that out.
No, it's staying in.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
It's going to be the opener, the cold opener. 12 Days of Christmas.
12 Days of Christmas.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at facebook.com/server restart in. Shoot a tweet at server_restart. Tell your friends about us. Maybe get them to listen to an episode or something like that. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.